The first time I physically met Prince was in 2005. I was invited to a video shoot by the amazing choreographer Fatima Robinson. And I remember being in the pool house, and it was a lot of dancers, a lot of professional dancers. And I was like, what am I doing here? You know, I don't dance like they do. And it was maybe like 3 in the morning. I remember it was really late. We were there for a couple of hours. And we were all in a holding room, which was the pool room at the time, which at this house, which eventually became the 3121 house, the original 3121 house. And we were all called to come into the house and get ready to shoot the video. Well, there was no breakdown on what we were doing, and I just remember sitting on the couch, and I remember it was very smoky and kind of dark, and it was like really fast. It was like action, and then it was like cut. And I remember a guff, like a whiff of wind, I guess. And I remember like getting tingles in my body, and I remember looking to my right, and there was Prince. And long story short, all of the extras were called back to the house approximately, I think, 3 days or 2 days later, to an after party at the house for the People's Choice Awards. And I remember walking into the house, and I remember seeing Cora there, Josh there, Frank McComb, and Sheila E. was on drums. And I was like, oh my God, that's Sheila E. on drums. And Prince was off to the right in the pool room playing pool. And I remember I was there for maybe an hour. And then at that point, it was time for me to go because it was pretty early in the morning at this point. And I remember walking out of the house, and my friend and spiritual advisor who was with me at the time was just like, you know, there's no way I'm not going to introduce myself, because Prince was at the door greeting everyone as they were leaving. And people were like, thank you for inviting me. And I saw people just saying, you know, thank you, thank you, thank you. And he was really like, kind of like nodding his head, like, thank you. And my friend goes up to him, and he introduced himself. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I should say something. And I remember walking up to him and saying, hi, my name is Ashley. And he was like, hi. I was like, thank you for opening your home. He was like, you're welcome. And I remember at the last minute, I was like, yeah, you recorded or remade Somewhere of the Rainbow for me when I was 11 years old. And I remember he looked, you know, and at first I was like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have said anything. And then he was like, how have you been? And what have you been up to? And he was very cordial. And eventually that conversation changed into an impromptu question that he asked me, which was, can he hear me sing? And I was just like, okay. And we walked into his home studio. He played a drum track. My friend, ironically, plays piano, so he was on the piano. And Prince looked at me and told me to sing. And I started scatting, and coming up with my own melodies and stuff. And from there, the conversation went so long, the sun was literally coming up. But his words of encouragement is what sparked a lifelong friendship. And I will forever be grateful for that moment.